This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is our gaming demo for the Asus ROG Republic of Gamers G750JX. You can see here, big 17.3-inch matte display, full HD backlit keyboard right here, nice large clickable trackpad. Close it up. Looks like a gaming laptop, but kind of understated. You could probably still take this to work or to school and people won't say, you're carrying an Alienware. Inside we have a quad-core i7 full mobile. This is Haswell i7-4700HQ NVIDIA GTX 770M graphics with 3 gigs of DDR5 video memory. So very capable machine, and we're going to check out gaming on it now. And so we're going to try a Batman Arkham City now. You can see the settings that we're using. Full screen, full, 1920 by 1080. VSync, yes. Anti-aliasing FXAA high setting. We're going with DirectX features off. With DirectX features on at these settings, we get about 30 frames per second, but I like it a little bit higher, and I don't want to give up on any of my other detail levels. Honestly, for a display this size, it looks just fine without that tessellation. And you can see detail level high, dynamic shadows high, motion blur on, distortion, everything is turned on, and we have set our hardware acceleration with physics using the GPU, in other words, to high. And as you'll see, it's going to get in the upper 40s for frame rates in Arkham City, even in a fairly busy fighting scene. And so here we are in the introductory scene where Catwoman gets to have a little fun. So there's a whole lot of fighting here. And you can see the frame rate's holding up very nicely with our high settings of full 1080p. Lots of detail. Looking good overall. Now, for those of you who can still get Arkham City working on Windows 8, more power to you. It's such a pain because of the Windows Live Marketplace, but you can see, pretty demanding games working fine.
Now that they're all taken care of, it's time to get what I came.
And now we're going to test out Mass Effect 3, and you can see the settings here, 1920 by 1080 full HD full screen. Bring up the brightness a little bit. Anti-aliasing is on. Dynamic shadows are on. Pretty much going for, in other words, we're going for all high settings. And now we're going to play. And our frame rate is a solid 60 here in our fight scene, so it's looking pretty good. Details are looking beautiful. Absolutely no problem for the G750 to handle. Alright, now we're going to try the mother of all games, Crysis 3, which is pretty good for making any gaming rig suddenly seem pretty modest. And in fact, to get great frame rates on this, that is something better than 30, we actually had to go with medium settings here. And now we're going to look at our advanced graphics settings, and as you can see, everything is on medium, and anisotropic filtering is at 16x, and we have lens flare turned on. So still a very visually enjoyable game, certainly at this setting, and we're going to see how it goes. And now you can see our frame rate in the upper 50s, even though it's raining and that's a whole lot of texture going on. Oh, we just dropped down for a second as we entered the environment, but still back up to 40s to 50, which is pretty darn good. Especially with all this rain. now that we're inside with no rain, much better frame rates. Alternatively, if you really want to go with high settings, you could drop this down to 1600 by 900 and get yourself some high settings and still get these very high frame rates, or you could just go with 30 frames per second frame rate at full HD, which is not exactly slumming, though. I like it a little higher myself too, so I think this is a good setting right here, medium. That's Crysis 3 on the Asus Republic of Gamer G750JX. And now we're going to test out Skyrim on the Asus Republic of Gamer G750JX with the NVIDIA GTX 770M. This should be absolutely no problem, and as a result you can see we're going with very high settings here, full HD resolution, and aliasing set at 8 samples, anisotropic filtering 16. So now we've hit that nice ultra button, and you can see right here we've upped our settings even further because gee, we were pegged at 60 frames per second there on high, so it looks like we could certainly do better. And we're still at 60 frames per second right now. Totally killing it on Skyrim with the Asus Republic of Gamer G750JX with the NVIDIA GTX 770M and a quad-core i7 Haswell full mobile CPU. Definitely got what it takes to play this kind of game, doesn't it? And now we're going to check out one of the hottest titles right now for gaming. That's BioShock Infinite. You can see what settings we're using here. Full screen, full HD, 1920 by 1080, going with very high for our settings. Now we ran the benchmarking thing, and it actually can handle ultra, getting in the mid-30s to 40 or so. We're going to go with very high here for smoother gameplay and see how it goes. So we're jumping right into the action here. Lots of fighting going on, and you can see we're in the low 40s for frame rate on very high settings. Lots of bats or birds flying around, whatever those are supposed to be. Totally busy. Whew. Handling it very well so far. Nice colors, really nice screen for gaming. As you can see here, the lack of glare and the nice, vivid and accurate colors are very pleasing. And now that we're not beating up anybody and we're in interior scenes, we're actually going up as high as 50 frames per second, which I think is more than good enough for most of us who are playing first-person shooter kind of games. Lots of detail here on our very high setting, too. Very nice looking. So that's BioShock Infinite on the Asus ROG Republic of Gamer G750JX.